Today we are going to rank every Fortnite season that ever came to the game.
Yes, starting from Chapter 1 to Chapter 5.
Oh, this is going to be crazy. I can't wait to remember all those amazing days playing Fortnite.
Yeah, Joe, we are going to cover every topic and remember what each season had. The nostalgia is going to hit hard.
Yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs in Fortnite. Don't forget to tell us what is your favorite season of all time.
And don't forget to like and use our code GAMEMOOD in the item shop.
Yeah, guys, there is only 10 legends using our code. Come on, we can do way better than that. All right, gentlemen, it's time to dive into the Fortnite vault and rank these seasons. And let me tell you, I know rankings better than anyone.
We're all familiar with the game, Donald. Let's start with Season 1, shall we?
Season 1. The foundation of what Fortnite became. That takes me back.
You got that right, Joe. Season 1 was epic, no question about it. It's like the grandfather of Fortnite.
I have to agree, it's where the phenomenon began. The simplicity of it was truly beautiful.
I remember downloading it after seeing those big streamers play. The excitement was palpable.
The graphics weren't as fancy as my gold-plated fixtures, but man, was it fun.
The nostalgia factor alone makes it epic. Remember that first trailer? Gave me chills. And that feeling when you got your first victory royale? Unmatched.
Epic tier for sure, Joe.
All right, folks, let's talk about Fortnite Season 2. This is where it all began. The Battle Pass was introduced. Epic tier, no question.
Hold on, Donald, you're right. It was a game changer. The Battle Pass and its tiers gave us a reason to grind. Remember the Black Knight outfit at tier 70?
The Black Knight, a true legend, but let's not forget Tilted Towers, the most iconic location ever added to the map.
Oh man, Tilted Towers. Every drop was a battle. And the Chug Jug. That thing saved my life so many times.
Joe, the Chug Jug was huge. Full health and shields in one item. Can't get better than that.
And don't forget the seasonal themes. This one was all about medieval. It set the stage for future seasons.
Medieval theme was awesome. Felt like a knight every time I suited up. Plus, it introduced so many new locations.
Joe, you probably felt like a knight because you forgot you were playing a game. But yeah, it was great. Epic tier for sure.
And the introduction of cosmetic items with the Battle Pass. Damn, kids were bankrupting their parents those days.
Right. Everyone was grinding for those rewards. Season 2 was a turning point.
Agreed. This season laid the groundwork for everything that came after. Epic tier, no debate.
Now Season 3. It had a tough act to follow, but it was pretty solid. The Battle Pass was here to stay, and the theme was all about space exploration.
Absolutely, Donald. The new Battle Pass proved that this concept was a keeper. And the storyline starting with the meteor, that was intriguing.
I remember seeing that meteor in the sky. It was like, what's going to happen next? And those small meteorites crashing down, that was something.
Joe, you probably thought the meteors were aliens coming for you. But yeah, it added excitement. The guided missile was a fun addition, too.
The guided missile was a blast, literally. But it also changed the gameplay dynamics. And let's not forget Lucky Landing. New locations kept the game fresh.
Lucky Landing was a nice touch, gave us new places to explore and fight, but it wasn't quite as revolutionary as Season 2.
Exactly, Joe. It was good, but not on the same level. The space theme was cool, but it didn't have the same impact.
Yeah, I was thinking of good tier.
Hell yeah, good tier it is.
Let's talk about Season 4. I've heard some people call it the most complete season in Fortnite history.
You're not kidding, Barack. This season was a game changer. Dusty Depot getting hit by that meteor. Talk about shaking things up.
Barack with explosives or something else. But even I have to admit that meteor impact was something crazy.
It wasn't just the map changes. The storyline really kicked off here. Fortnite became more than just a game. It became a narrative experience.
And let's not forget the new consumables. Hop Rocks, anyone? Made me feel young again.
Young? Please, Joe, I was build fighting like a pro while you were still figuring out how to open your glider.
Speaking of building, this was when players really started mastering those techniques. The skill ceiling shot through the roof.
The game's popularity exploded too. Remember how addictive it was? People were playing 12 hours a day, sometimes more.
12 hours, amateurs. I could have played 24 if I didn't have a country to run.
Despite all this, I think we agree it falls just short of epic. Super good tier.
Yeah, let's add a tier between epic and good to be fair with these seasons.
Agreed. Super good it is.
What we got now, dog?
Moving on to Season 5. Now we're talking epic.
Paradise Palms was quite the addition. I have to admit, I enjoyed dropping there.
Of course you did, Barack. All that sand probably reminded you of home.
Come on, guys. It wasn't just Paradise Palms. The rifts changed the whole game.
True, and the new weapons kept everything fresh and exciting.
Fresh and exciting sounds like my tweets. Epic tier for sure.
I agree. The mobility and new POIs really set it apart. Epic it is.
Now Season 6. Kevin the Cube, anyone?
It was incredible. Loot lake flying, purple slime making you bounce.
The storyline really took off here. Fortnite became a world of its own.
That season was unique as well, but not that epic.
Agreed. Kevin alone puts it in super good. The game was at its peak.
Super good it is. Almost as super as everything.
All right, folks, we're diving into the frosty depths of Season 7.
Ah, yes, the Winter Wonderland season. It brought a unique Fortnite style with multiple new POIs.
Like Frosty Flights, Polar Peak, and Happy Hamlet, it was like Christmas came early.
Speaking of flights, those airplanes were something else. Fun to use, but a pain to go against.
Don't forget the first mythic item, the Infinity Blade. Almost ruined the season single-handedly.
It was a double-edged sword, literally. Made it very easy to lose, very hard to win.
Sounds like the Democrats' election strategy anyway. Where are we placing this one?
Given the ups and downs, I'd say good tier.
Agreed. Good tier it is.
Now season 8, now we're talking epic.
One of the craziest seasons of all time. New jungle biomes, sunny steppes, lazy lagoon.
And let's not forget the free battle pass. That was a big W for players.
Free? I'm not a fan of handouts, but I'll admit it was a smart
The
move.
volcano was a game changer too, really shook things up.
Epic tier, no question. It's got my seal of approval.
Moving on to season 9. Bit of a mixed bag, wasn't
The
it?
futuristic theme was interesting. Neo-tilted, mega mall, pressure plant.
They got rid of my beloved tilted towers. Not cool, folks, not cool.
But those slipstreams and drones added some great mobility.
True, but removing the pump and adding the combat shotgun really changed the game.
Change the game, you are damn right, Barack.
Let's not forget the World Cup. That alone saves this season from mediocrity.
Taking everything into account, I'd say it lands in good tier.
Fine, good it is. Now season X or 10 for those who can't read Roman numerals.
The longest season in Fortnite history. 100 days of interesting choices.
Time travel theme was cool. Unexpected locations popping up everywhere.
But those BRUT mechs, totally unfair, impossible to win without them.
The rift zones were a nice touch though. Each one unique. Monsters in Retail Row, Guaco taking over Greasy Grove.
And who could forget the Black Hole event? 2 days of staring at nothing.
2 days of nothing? Sounds like Biden's presidency. Just kidding, Joe.
Despite the issues with the mechs, the season had a lot going for it. Super good tier.
I agree. Could have been epic if not for those robots.
Super good it is.
Oh boy, what we got now.
All right, folks, let's talk about Chapter 2, Season 1. After 100 days of Season X, we were staring at a black hole for 2 days. Finally, a new Fortnite chapter, or what it called a revolution. But was it really?
Well, it brought a lot of changes. The map was fully revamped, new guns, the loot pool got a makeover, and we saw the introduction of the bandage, bazooka, and motorboat.
Yeah, but let's be real here. The map was kind of empty. Compared to Chapter 1, it felt like they forgot to add stuff.
Joe, you probably forgot your own name during that black hole event, but you're right, the map was lacking, and those bots they added made the game feel like a daycare.
True, the bots were supposed to help new players, but it just made the game less challenging for everyone else. And the pump shotgun changes, don't get me started.
Yeah, for the first 30 days, it was lit. Then it got boring fast. This season lasted 3 months, folks. Felt like an eternity.
The longest season of Fortnite, and it felt like the longest season of our lives. Boring tier, no question about it.
Agreed. It had potential, but fell flat after the initial excitement.
Well, at least you can fish when you are bored, but still it's not enough. Boring tier it is.
Now we're talking, folks. Fortnite woke up and fixed everything. Bosses, crazy POIs, this season was complete.
The theme revolved around spies and secret agents, with a war between ghost and shadow. 5 new locations, each with a boss and a mythic item.
And don't forget Travis Scott's astronomical event. That was something else.
Joe, for once you're making sense. This season had endless content, helicopters, never a dull moment.
Henchmen were introduced, appearing at spy bases and adding a new layer of challenge, faction-locked chests, secret passageways, disguise boxes.
I loved sneaking around in a disguise. Felt like James Bond, especially at the agency.
Every time we sneak, Joe, you start falling and making noises.
It was well balanced. Every match felt fresh with new strategies and locations.
Epic tier, no question about it. If you disagree, you're just wrong.
Agreed, epic tier all the way. This was Fortnite at its peak.
I'm with you on this one. Epic tier it is.
Season 3, the map was flooded, literally. After the wall of water collapsed, it was water everywhere.
New mythic items, each boss dropping 2 of them. The water level kept shrinking throughout the season, adding a dynamic element.
And the small live event near Craggy Cliffs. Remember that? Pretty cool.
Cars and radio stations were introduced. Finally, a way to get around and listen to some real music.
They removed the old bosses and added new shadow bosses. It was a good season, but not as great as season 2.
The cars were the best part, hands down. So much fun driving around.
It added a lot of content, but didn't quite reach the heights of Season 2.
The introduction of cars was game-changing, but it was introduced late in the season after the water went away, which took a long time.
Oh yeah, and those crazy sharks. I remember them wiping out half of the lobby.
It had its moments, but not enough to be top tier. Good it is.
Look at us, making sensible decisions. Good tier it is.
All right, folks, Chapter 2, Season 4, the first ever crossover season with Marvel, new bosses, mythic superpowers, and a Marvel-themed battle pass. It was huge.
Frenzy Farm was replaced with upstate New York and Stark Industries. Marvel-exclusive LTMs, car racing, and more features. This season had it all.
And don't forget the Devourer of Worlds event. The 0 point became exposed. That was intense.
Joe, for once, you're not wrong. This season was lit. Driving cars wherever you wanted, tons of bosses, and that new Marvel location, crazy good.
A lot of people say this is the best version of Chapter 2. It had a ton of glitches, sure, but it was fun and always memorable.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's epic tier. Maybe super good?
Super good, come on, man. It deserves more than that.
Hold on, Donald. It was amazing, but it had its issues.
That's right. It was fun, but not flawless. Super good feels right.
You two always want to settle for less. This season was incredible.
We're not saying it wasn't. We're just saying it wasn't quite epic.
Yeah, Donald, think about it. It wasn't like Season 2 full of joy.
Fine, I see your point, but remember, I wanted epic.
Agreed, it was close. Super good it is.
Look at that, we're agreeing again. Super good tier it is.
All right, now let's talk about Chapter 2, Season 5, or as I like to call it, the boring season. The theme revolved around bounty hunters. A desert biome appeared around the 0 point. Different characters started to pop up selling exotic items.
Donald, it wasn't all that bad. The idea of bounty hunters was intriguing, and those exotic items added some variety to the gameplay.
Variety? Please. It was boring. Players camping in the sand all the time. And what about that weird boss in the desert biome? Ridiculous.
Come on, man. I remember that season. You'd be running around and suddenly someone pops out of the sand like a gopher. It was annoying.
I agree, it had its downsides. But the new exotic weapons with special effects were interesting. You had to trade with NPCs to get them. That was different.
Different, sure. But did it make the season exciting? No. It was still boring. The map felt empty and the gameplay got stale quickly.
I'll admit it wasn't the best. But let's not forget some of the positives. The Mandalorian was in it, and that was pretty cool.
Even Baby Yoda couldn't save the season. It was boring with a capital B.
I got to agree with Donald on this one. After the first couple of weeks, it just felt like a chore to play. Boring tier all the way.
Finally, some sense. Boring tier it is. Next up, we have Chapter 2, Season 6, the Primal Season. Folks, I don't think we need to spend much time on this one.
Agreed. The primal weapons, the crafting system, it just didn't work. It felt like a step backward.
It was a disaster. Completely ruined the gameplay. And those primal weapons? Terrible.
Now hold on a second, guys. The wildlife and taming wolves was kind of fun. Remember when I tamed that wolf?
Joe, nobody cares about your wolf. This season was a mess from start to finish. Trash tier.
I hate to say it, but Donald's right. It didn't add any value to the game. It actually made it worse.
Yeah, this season belongs in one place.
Finally, Joe agrees. Trash tier it is.
Short and simple. Trash tier.
All right, let's move on to Chapter 2, Season 7. Aliens invade the island, saucers, and Holly Hatchery. What a season, right?
Yeah, it had a lot of potential. The war between the aliens and the imagined order was intriguing.
But come on, it didn't quite hit the mark. Saucers were cool at first, but then they just got annoying.
Hey, those saucers were a hoot. I remember flying around and zapping everything. Good times.
Joe, you're the only one who enjoyed those saucers. They made the game feel like a circus.
I have to agree with Donald here. The season started strong but fizzled out. Holly Hedges transforming into Holly Hatchery was interesting, but not enough to keep it exciting.
Fun for a while, sure, but by the end of the season, it felt like a drag, definitely not epic or even good.
So we're thinking average tier for this one?
Yeah, I suppose so. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either.
All right, let's wrap up Chapter 2 with Season 8. We had the cube, railways, and zombies everywhere. Quite the ending, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more unusual seasons. The return of the cube and all the chaos it brought was something different.
I remember the cube monsters. They were a wild ride. It's like Fortnite threw a big party with zombies and said, let's see what happens.
Exactly. It was a bit strange, but not bad. The Cube Queen and all that corruption was a pretty interesting twist. The new railways and the whole pyramid thing were cool, but it did have its weird moments. I think average tier fits well.
I agree. It wasn't boring at all, but it wasn't top tier either. Just a solid, interesting season with a lot going on.
Yeah, it definitely had its moments. I'm good with placing it in average tier.
All right, folks, we're at Chapter 3, Season 1. Let me tell you, it was huge. The biggest maybe ever.
It certainly was a significant moment for Fortnite. The player base saw a massive resurgence.
And for good reason. The mix of OG and Chapter 2 themes in the map was a stroke of genius.
Ilted Towers, Greasy Grove, Shifty Shafts, all the best places, believe me.
Not to mention the Spider-Man collaboration, which was indeed one of the largest events in Fortnite history.
The new mechanics like mantling and sprinting really changed the game. And let's not forget the tanks and sliding.
It felt like Fortnite again, the best Fortnite epic tier.
I agree. The return to form and the innovations make this an epic tier season.
No argument here. Epic tier it is.
Moving on to Chapter 3, Season 2. Zero build, folks. It was revolutionary.
Indeed, it opened up the game to a whole new audience tired of competing with highly skilled builders.
It was a game changer. Bringing back streamers like Ninja and Tifo showed its impact on the community.
The new weapons like the burst-scoped AR were tremendous, and the blimps, key to victory, folks.
The drivable battle bus was also a fun addition. This season really catered to different playstyles.
As non-building players, I think we can all agree this season was a hit. Epic tier from me.
Epic tier, no question.
Agreed. The impact of Zero Build alone makes this epic tier.
Now, Chapter 3, Season 3, what a letdown, folks.
While it maintained elements from the previous season, it didn't introduce much new content.
True, it felt more like an extension of Season 2 rather than a new season in its own right.
Same as Season 2, but with guard blimps and more NPCs. Boring.
I wouldn't say boring, Donald. It was more average.
I have to agree with Barack here. It wasn't bad, just not particularly exciting. exciting. Average seems fair.
Fine, average it is. Now Season 4, the last of Chapter 3.
This season introduced the chrome mechanic, allowing players to phase through walls and buildings.
An interesting concept, but it didn't quite land with the player base as intended.
It was strange, folks. Big map changes, chrome everywhere, not enjoyable.
While innovative, it didn't resonate with players as much as previous seasons.
I'd say it falls into the boring tier. It tried something new, but the execution was lacking.
Boring tier, maybe even trash.
Let's not be hasty, Donald. I think Joe's right. Boring tier is fair, given the lukewarm reception.
All right, folks, Chapter 4, Season 1, new map, new mechanics. What do you think?
This is it, gentlemen. One of the greatest chapters in Fortnite history and my personal favorite.
The map was indeed impressive, with a perfect mix of biomes and interesting POI.
Best map ever? Come on, Joe. Nothing beats the old days.
Trust me, Donald, this map got better and better with each update. The Citadel, Brutal Bastion, Slappy Shores, all instant classics.
Don't forget the addition of the augment system. It added a new layer of strategy to the game.
Strategy? Please, it's all about dominating with raw skill, which I have plenty of.
Raw skill? Is that why you always land at Reality Falls, Donald?
Gentlemen, let's stay focused. The dirt bikes were a welcome addition to mobility options as well.
And let's not overlook the Shockwave Hammer. It completely changed how players approach combat and traversal.
Fine, I'll admit the hammer was pretty great, made it easy to crush the competition.
The Excalibur rifle and the Guardian shield were also game changers.
Don't forget the Myra boss fight and the Oathbound chests. This season had it all.
So where are we placing this season? It better be epic.
Well, I don't think this one is epic because the next seasons are way better.
Yeah, Season 2 and 3 got more and more added features, made it a crazy game.
As much as I love this season, let's be fair, it had a few minor issues. I say super good tier.
I agree with Joe. Super good it is.
Now Chapter 4, Season 2, the neon-soaked Mega City season.
This season really leaned into the futuristic cyberpunk aesthetic.
And it fixed every minor issue from Season 1. It was the complete package.
The gameplay was tremendous, I'll give you that.
Mega City was a masterpiece, and those grind rails, game-changing.
The mobility options in this season were unparalleled. The new motorbikes and cars added so much to the game.
The kinetic blade was great for charging into battle, very presidential.
Don't forget the Havoc pump shotgun and the heisted breacher shotgun. They really spiced up close-quarter combat.
The high card exotic was also a fun addition, and the rogue bike, pure adrenaline.
So where does this one rank? It better be epic after all this praise.
Without a doubt, epic tier. This season was lit.
All right, folks, Chapter 4, Season 3, the jungle season. What do you think?
Now we're talking. This season just kept getting better and better.
The new jungle biome was a fantastic addition. Those new POI templates really freshened up the map.
And sliding from tree to tree, tremendous. It's like I'm back in my younger days swinging through the concrete jungle of New York.
The only hiccup was that the bosses weren't quite up to par with previous seasons.
True, and the weapon pool didn't see significant changes either.
But overall, it was still great. The best jungle, folks, believe me.
And the Transformers collab, that really revved up the season.
So where are we placing this one?
Despite the minor issues, I'd say it's solidly super good tier.
Agreed, super good it is.
And now Season 4, the vampire season.
This season really completed the Chapter 4 experience. It felt like a throwback to Chapter 2, Season 2.
The new POIs were indeed crazy, and those bosses, top notch.
The weapons were tremendous. The best weapons maybe ever.
And let's talk about that pacing. It was non-stop action from landing to victory royale.
The mobility options and loot availability were certainly generous.
Maybe too generous. It was easier to get good items than it is for me to get votes.
That's true. The abundance of overpowered items was a double-edged sword.
So where does this land us?
It's great, but not perfect. Super good tier.
I agree. Super good feels right.
And now the grand finale, Chapter 4, Season 5, Fortnite OG.
This wasn't just a season, it was a revival. It broke every Fortnite record in the book.
Over 5 million concurrent players, that's unprecedented.
It brought back all the memories, all the joy. It was like making Fortnite great again.
His season is in a league of its own. It's like comparing Messi and Ronaldo to other footballers.
The nostalgia factor was off the charts. It really reminded us why we fell in love with Fortnite in the first place.
So what are we saying here, folks? Because if this isn't epic, I don't know what is.
Epic doesn't even do it justice. If there was a tier above Epic, this would be it.
Then it's settled. Fortnite OG gets the highest honor, Epic tier with a gold star. All right, folks, we're diving into Chapter 5 now, Season 1, the start of a new journey.
This season was one of the best ever. The bosses were fantastic, and the new weapons were innovative.
The map was different, though. It was large, and getting stuck in the zone was a real pain.
True, Joe, but let's not forget the gameplay. It was perfect, and Lego Fortnite breaking records by itself.
If Epic Games hadn't messed it up, it could have been the biggest game ever. It had more players than Battle Royale.
It was so close to being epic, but yeah, super good tier is fair.
Agreed, it's going in super good.
A strong start to Chapter 5. Let's move on.
Now, Chapter 5, Season 2, Grease theme, amazing bosses, and new POIs.
Everything felt great in this season. The Grease theme was well executed.
But then the worst season of all time came and buried the game.
Let's focus on season 2 for now, Joe. It was good, right?
Definitely, it was a solid season. Good tier sounds right.
Yeah, I agree. Good tier it is.
Now for Chapter 5, Season 3, one of the worst seasons ever.
You know what? I won't even waste my time talking. Let's just place it in trash tier.
Insta-trash sound fair enough for those cars?
And by this, folks, we finally managed to rank every Fortnite season that ever came.
Yes, guys, don't forget to comment down your favorite chapter and your favorite season.
And get us to 1,000 likes, or I am going to kaboom this channel.